Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and WWDC 2023 is just a couple days away. There's a lot to expect. It seems to be bigger than ever and will be one of the longest keynotes ever. So I thought we'd go over where you can watch it and all of the latest leaks and rumors that have been released last minute. We'll go over all of that and much more. Now the first thing is, when is WWDC? So if we go to Safari, you can see if you go to apple.com, right at the top we have WWDC 2023, or the Worldwide Developer Conference. You'll see it says watch online Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. And if you tap on that to learn more, you'll see it says you can watch it on apple.com or on the Apple TV app. You'll also be able to watch it on YouTube, as they've already got the placeholder in place, so you can watch it there. You can add it to your calendar and also see the invite in augmented reality. So we'll give it a second to load here, and there we go. So it's sort of a transparent view. Let's go to the object mode as it's easier to see, but you'll see the date right behind it in augmented reality as it's sort of animating and filling in. So we think this is going to hint at some new products as well. Now, Apple's been teasing products along with this, so not just this augmented reality logo here, but if we swipe to the next one, of course, on the Apple Newsroom website, we have the option to add it to the calendar, and you can see at the time of recording this video, we have 2 days, 19 hours and 44 minutes left. If we go to the next website, this is the developer website. The other day, Apple made it live where it says Code New Worlds, so hinting at maybe augmented reality or virtual reality. Again, if we swipe over one more website, even on the developer website, they've even posted things beyond WWDC, where a variety of developer organizations will host events throughout the week of WWDC. So you can see all of the different community events and different things here with their times, in person, where they are. So this one in particular is in the Netherlands on June 5th. You've got one in Norway, lots of different ones around the world. So if you want to see all of those, I'll link those in the description so you can check them out. Also, to build hype about this, Apple has actually released a playlist to go along with Apple Music called the WWDC23 Power Up. So lots of different things here that you can take a listen to. And again, I'll link this in the description below. Lots of different hype they seem to be building behind this event. Now, Mark Gurman is saying to expect a lot this year, and it's expected to be one of the longest keynotes ever. As far as software is concerned, we're expecting a lot to be released there. iOS 17 will be shown for the first time. I've covered that in depth the other day. I'll link the video in the description, but we're expecting everything from lock screen updates, accessibility updates, stability, performance, maybe even a new control center, and much, much more. We're also expecting updates to iPadOS 17, so we should see the first version of that. Typically, Apple will release the betas after the keynote, so we'll watch what Apple has new, then they'll open up their websites, allowing developers to install them on all the different devices. So possibly some new changes with this, hopefully better multitasking, and much more. We're expecting huge things from watchOS 10. According to Mark Gurman, we're expecting a full redesign, and Apple will make it more focused on what Apple Watch can deliver rather than copying what iOS has to offer already. So we should see something completely different with the interface, more focus on widgets, maybe different watch faces, hopefully custom watch faces, and much, much more. But we haven't heard a whole lot about it just yet. We'll know more in a few days. Also, we're expecting changes with macOS 14. While many of us don't really know what to expect there, the leaker Unknowns21 on Twitter said they were excited for it. We really haven't heard anything more than that, but we're expecting some changes there where we could have maybe larger updates than we're anticipating. We'll of course also see tvOS 17, HomePodOS 17, and the all-new virtual reality-focused RealityOS or XROS, or Apple could have a fully different name for it altogether, RealOS, and many other things they've actually trademarked. And the headset should be the big one more thing of the show. Reality Pro, or it could be some other name, but the overall specs we're seeing about this are absolutely insane. According to Ross Young, who has a very good track record of the displays, 4K per eye, 1.41 inches diagonally, 4,000 pixels per inch, and 5,000 nits of brightness in a micro LED package. That's something we haven't seen before and would explain the insane price that we're expecting around $3,000. Now, there were some supposed leaks on Geekbench of the new hardware, which turned out to be fake according to Geekbench. So those specs or overall scores were not actually true according to Geekbench. Mark Gurman also posted the warnings that go along with the headset. So saying if you're prone to inner ear infections, ADHD, ADD, anxiety disorders, have a pacemaker, and on. And these seem to be fairly typical of VR headsets. My main concern is whether or not they have PWM. PWM would mean they're flickering the display to control brightness. Hopefully it doesn't do that, as that would actually cause eye strain, and Oculus devices don't tend to do that. Oculus Quest 2 does not use PWM, as it's something that would cause additional eye strain. So hopefully it doesn't have that. Given its price, I would hope that it doesn't, but we'll have to wait and see what Apple has to offer. A lot of different things seem to be exciting. Of course, we'll have the typical round of games. You can see from a Twitter post here, the head of Beat Saber posted that June 5th would be epic, and we're waiting for a lot more things. Now, I'm not personally convinced that the headset will be anything more than a very high resolution version with sort of their own OS over the top as compared to Oculus, but we'll have to see if it's something they have that's revolutionary like iPhone was, or maybe just incremental like Apple Watch was that takes off a little bit later. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below, but we'll have to see what Apple says on Monday. Now, we're also expecting new Mac hardware. We're expecting some updates now to the Mac Studio since it's no longer in stock, and it seems like we'll just get a spec bump there with maybe M2 and M2 Ultra. We could also finally see a Mac Pro. We haven't seen anything from Apple, and I think if Apple doesn't show a Mac Pro this time around, we probably won't see one going forward. Mac Studio may have taken its place, but we're waiting for a Mac Pro, and also we're expecting a 15-inch MacBook Air. All of these things, the MacBook Airs seem ready to go and probably will be available to order on June 5th, since these have apparently been in warehouses waiting to go for a little while with the M2, just a larger version of what we already have with the 13-inch. So we're expecting a lot of different updates with Macs, maybe some iMac surprises. I really hope we see that. I would love to see a Mac Pro, but I don't know what Apple has planned for that. I would love to see maybe some higher specs just in the current one, or maybe a larger 30-inch Mac Pro. But the headset is said to be maybe a new monitor that will take the place of having to have larger monitors like a Pro Display XDR. You could instead maybe use the VR headset. Now, all of those things are expected at WWDC and expected to be over 2 hours long as far as the overall presentation. Of course, I'll personally be covering iOS 17, iPadOS 17, watchOS, macOS, and anything else I can get my hands on, of course. But as far as those go, those will be available typically for beta users or developers the first week, with the beta coming out a few weeks later. So typically June 5th, we'll have the release to developers, and then later on, we'll have the public beta when it's ready enough to go on different devices. Then Apple will release it then. So don't expect it to release to the public until September, typically before iPhone 15. But we will see everything that's included, different features, different changes, and much, much more. This is looking to be one of the largest versions of WWDC ever and in a long time. They're also expected to have some different things outside, different viewing areas for developers that are there and the press that's there, along with different tents that are outside to cover the areas of those watching that actual presentation live. So that's everything. Let me know what you're most excited for in the comments below. I'm a little bit skeptical of that VR headset, but I'm looking forward, of course, to new software, as that's something I look into regularly. Let me know what you're most excited for in the comments below, and of course I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.